Here comes a cripple, here comes a cripple.
Alrighty, guys, and we are live. Welcome back to another episode of Good Pickins. It is episode 42, and tonight we don't have Marcus here, but we have the ever so beautiful Zesty Pickles.
Oh, hi.
We definitely had some technical difficulties when we started up the stream, but we are all good now. I hope, anyway. Fingers crossed.
I think it works.
Yeah. Little bit closer on the microphone so you don't have to.
Does this help if I just kiss it?
Here, do you need to get in here?
Yeah.
What is up, man? You guys are pouring in. Jeff, Hillary, Tiffany, what is up, guys? But yeah, no, sorry for starting a little late. Had some problems with my webcam, and then our tax people called us. Tell them what happened with that.
When they call to confirm, pick up the phone. That's what happened with that. So I put it on silence thinking that, I'm going to get work done. And that's just never what happens. So, pick it up.
Pick up the phone.
But we're good. We're going to get our taxes done.
We're going to get our taxes done.
People.
Yeah, I gotta get my stuff together. Well, I have to get all of my stuff condensed. I have to get it all in one spot. Like, I have everything pretty much for the most part. So, but yeah. Thank you guys for all hanging out and what's up, Marcus? Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I mean, you're here only every other week, so I think you get a pass this week.
Hopefully I can do you a solid and give you just as much entertainment.
Exactly. But I hope everyone's nights are going well. Or any crazy sales or finds for you guys this week. Also, how do you feel about some music?
Yes.
I feel like we should play some music this week.
Yes.
Let's do that really
Have
quick.
some.
We're gonna get some music going for you guys.
I'm getting the mic at a comfortable.
Get comfy.
I am.
Normally
I just sit here like a robot that's not allowed to touch any of the things. Yeah. Oh.
That's gonna help too. I was like, why did it seem like you were so far back? It looked like you were like
I was banished
back there. Yeah. Hold on, guys. We're gonna get some music going. Let's all relax together. It'll be great.
While he's out music, let me just talk to you about what I am sitting right next to. This really faded Hulkamania, but man, that imagery is spot on. Look, it looks really great with me and Hulk together. Look at us and my icon.
It does.
Give her a kiss.
I love that VHS.
It is a 60 action-packed minutes of WWF Collector Series.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, so fun fact about one of our Vegas stories, not to just jump into random conversation.
Do it.
But this reminds me of this awesome little tiny container store. That and by container store I mean like it's made out of shipping containers, and it's like a mall of them all stacked up.
Yeah, it's a mall of containers.
And it's in downtown Vegas. There's a little outdoor mall of shops made out of containers, and also a train that's a tattoo studio, which is really
Train
neat.
Caboose Tattoo Studio.
Smaller than I expected, but still very neat. But anyway, one of these shops, which is literally about the size of your office that we're in, had some stuff from someone who worked at what was it, the studio that recorded like the matches and stuff, but had actual like Hulk and Jake the Snake and a bunch of like actual photos of like their headshots and and tapes of things that shouldn't probably be in hands of other people.
Yeah,
like it was so like obscurely wonderful to look at.
It was really cool because it was basically like imagine like the set list for a concert, right? But it was the set list for the actual recording of like. I mean, do you remember what it was? It was WWF.
Was a couple different things. So one was the actual like I'm really bad about mixing like anagrams, whatever it is. I'm really bad about confusing, especially wrestling. But there was actual tapes where, like you said, the set list where it had like, hey, this is like when we're gonna break for commercial.
Yeah,
and this is where
it broke it all down.
The announcer's gonna come in, and then it says like chair asterisk. Scripted.
I mean, okay. Who else in the chat like loved the fact that they were like so ignorant to the fact that wrestling was scripted when they were younger, and that made it like so much more cooler. Because I remember the moment that like I found out that wrestling was fake, and it like really broke my heart. Like it really did. Speaking of Vegas, what's up, Sonny? Sending the box soon. I believe you. No worries. What's up, Joe? What's up, Laura? How are you guys?
I've been dreaming about that coat that's in that box of
yes.
stuff, if not like 20 boxes of stuff.
Yes. I flipped that by the way, is Joe the person that I met at the bins the other week?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Lives up in Minnesota. So, yes. It's real. Yeah.
It's real.
It is real. It is real. No, we are looking forward to unpacking the stuff that we got in Vegas, and we'll have to make that into a little episode for sure.
Oh yeah, it'll be like a surprise because I don't remember.
I don't remember everything either.
Except
yeah,
that one coat and maybe a couple of stuffies. Everything else is going to be like a surprise again.
Yeah, so it should be pretty cool
to like go into the basement.
Yeah, kinda, and we say that because
Sonny doesn't even remember. He doesn't know what coat. Oh, you picked it up. And I'm going to let it be a surprise. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, Zesty is absolutely right because, like, we will walk down into the thrift dungeon and we'll find stuff that we're like, oh, this thing is so cool. Like, I forgot that we even picked this sort of thing. And sometimes that is sad, but that's what happens. And I'm sure you guys do the same thing. So
I'll take it as hey, it's good that we have inventory. That's really nice. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
What's up, Jeff and Tara? What's up, Jay Rudster? Welcome. Thanks for hanging out.
Howdy.
Yeah, we're having fun tonight. Mm-hmm. Minus the technical difficulties, of course, but
could you help my old non-elven eyes and make the text bigger?
Yes, I can. We're putting this into.
Oh, I can see.
We're putting this into old people mode right here.
Yeah, I want my iPhone messages on extra large, please. It's only 125 is how much big you zoomed in. So let's
fair.
Calm down.
That's fair.
Let's calm down. I've got special eyes. Okay.
But yeah, speaking of Vegas and Sunny and everything, I have to like. Give praises to Sunny. Thank you so much for being a taxi for us first and foremost.
A taxi twice.
Well, because Las Vegas very much is like you have to drive in that town. They're like walking unless you're on either either strip. Like it is not a walking city.
No.
So yeah, thank you again for just being super hospitable. Right. The vibes were awesome. If you guys are not subbed to Sunny, what are you guys doing? Go over there, hit that sub button on his channel.
Not only did he do us a solid for like taking us and showing us the way of the bins, like respectfully, because again, our bins are not your bins.
Yeah, the bins were very different.
Think of it as a lawless, like as you do what the manager tells you to do, and that's just the rules.
That's just how it goes. Yeah.
But I totally appreciated the vibes, and it was like an enemies to lovers trope with me and the old lady general manager, because at first I was like, get out of my face, don't be talking to me, because she confronted me about your recording, and I was like, I don't have anything in my hands. But then the minute I was nice to her and was just like, I'll get out of your way and listen to the things that you're asking people to do, she was immediately nice to me, and I was like, all right, I respect. I'm sorry I judged. It's just,
she was very aggressive.
It's intimidating and a little abrasive, but sometimes you got to be what's the term? Just like strictly business. Like that's all I need.
Strictly business.
Strictly business. Yeah. Put on my sunglasses.
It's business time. What's up, Fly Days? Welcome. I'm sorry you have a fever. Hopefully, this is the cure. This is your more cowbell. This podcast is
clink,
your.
Clink.
Yeah.
Here, I think I can do it.
Yeah, do it. Here. Get something that looks like a. Here you go.
It's kind of sounding.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I do know. I have this. I have this lighter for candles up here. Also, how is the sound of or the level of volume for the music? This is like the first time we've played music on the podcast, really. So Yeah.
I kind of like the little jazz flute I'm hearing.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
It's a little vibe.
It's a little ditty.
It's a little vibey.
But before I forget, before I forget to praise Sunny one last time, I just wanted to say that his presence on social media and within like the whole Commonwealth like vibe really inspired me when I came back from vacation to really like what my grandmother would like to say, shit or get off the pot. So, and by that I mean with like my full-time job. And so I'm really trying to take 2023 and do my side of the biz, which I've already started the booth, so we'll keep doing that. So I posted a little sneak peeks of the graphics and stuff and the rebranding I'm trying to really push. And that will include like launching official Good Game Grabs merch, like, and not in like a secret little link that I might have put in the about section of our YouTube channel. Don't go secretly look at it and post it in our Discord. It's just a secret that lives there. But yeah. Anyway, I'm inspired. So thank you for showing us the ropes.
Yeah, definitely. And I also think for myself is just networking period. Like I always forget, like, well, especially like having met Joe, I'd flip that like 2 weeks or like a week and a half prior to leaving for Vegas. Then also meeting Sunny, who's like also in that realm, you know, has always kind of been in the conversation of resellers since we've started doing it. And since we started YouTube, of course, as well. It was just really cool to like get a refresher, a reminder of like, hey, go out and meet more resellers. And we've been talking about the one that Commonwealth Picker and Cincinnati Picker, and I forgot the last guy, but they're doing one in September.
Yes.
So there's
something reseller.
Yeah, there's a reseller con in September that looked really cool. So yeah. I just wanted to mention really quick, if you do go to the Instagram, I shared it on the main page, but if you go to our Instagram, you'll see a little sneak peek of the graphics that Zesty's been working on. It's super retro and super cool, so please go check that stuff out. It's really neat. I'm really excited. Like, I'm really, really excited.
Thanks. I'm not just thinking booth. I'm thinking, like, setting up for, like, the first step outside of the booth would be to eventually do, like, I keep thinking for a better term, but like there's a lot of like art in the park or these community things that like St. Louis does, which is a great starting off point in the park, in a parking lot, whether it could be for a holiday, who knows, but like having like a chance to like get a tent and pop up and rent a space and sell some shit that either we have flipped or stuff that we have made and had a hand in making. And that's where like the graphic stuff is kind of coming in. So it's Good Game Grabs meets Zesty TBD, whatever that name is. I'm rethinking the pickle brand. I don't sell pickles. That's confusing. But yeah, I'm excited.
Basically, when the time comes when Zesty transitions from her job into reseller / full-time artist / whatever
entrepreneur,
there will be entrepreneur. There will be more physical interactions with the community, not just us.
Yes.
You know, having some merch over online.
Right.
But yes, thank you, JR. Yeah, Craigslist Hunter. That was the third one. But if are any of you guys going to any cons this year? I'd like to hear about them. Why are you attracted to these cons? I know that they can be kind of expensive, but right. I think it would be cool to. Well, obviously, it's going to be a write-off. Well, so yeah, there's that.
But I'm also curious if there's like things that people like you guys have tried, whether you've just visited as like visitors or actually rented a space to flip stuff or resell stuff at cons or at these little like maybe citywide.
Well, I don't think
fairs.
They don't set up vendors.
Well,
at cons,
I'm just talking. I mean, not necessarily cons, but so like my experience obviously isn't resale cons. It's like anime cons.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and
like
at anime cons, there's always a vendor hall, meaning
right.
that there's places for you to sell the stuff that you've made.
Yeah, you could go to PAX.
Right. Well,
like you could go to PAX.
We actually happened to go to Vegas at the same time. There was like a horror movie, like horror genre, like con.
Yeah.
And you just saw tons of stuff coming out in bags, like tons of stuff, and like that's the dream there, but with cool stuff that we find.
Yeah, exactly. I think we would fit in at any sort of nerdy based con. We really would, just because we have such a wide array of things. So Hillary said, I'm going to be at a vendor at a local comic convention, but not for any reselling cons, though I would love to. Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but like they don't really have any booths set up for vendors at these reseller. That would kind of make not much sense, right? Like,
I guess
you're reselling to.
So there's cons where you would learn.
Reselling to resell or selling to resellers. Like,
there's cons to learn where you're doing like, hey, a lot of events and panels and stuff. There may be some type of vendor where like people like us could sell our own merch, not necessarily like things that we find to flip, but there is like a whole like giant like flea market thing where that's where people could rent and like resell their stuff.
Yeah. I mean, a flea market con is still different though from what we're talking about.
Which I have no knowledge of either.
But yeah, I mean, if they were to do like a giant flea market thing, I'd be down to source from there, not to sell there.
A giant statewide garage sale flea market.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do it. Like, they do mile to whatever. Okay, miss.
That wasn't me.
You guys can't see this off camera. I don't know if you guys heard that crash, but that was one of the wireless controllers that Terry and I use for our startup YouTube project that we're doing. But Liv, our other cat that you rarely see on the channel, you see Tuna all the time. But Liv is... she's a little crazy baby, but she's now found her way to laying on top of my computer case where all the hot air needs to escape from. So I like to not have her on there. So I put a controller up top and she just kicked it off. So apparently I just don't own my computer case anymore. So that's good.
You don't own your life anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing about no living, no learning.
Thinking more of an informational convention for reselling. Yeah, exactly. Right. I did the comic book show at the American Legion Hall in Shrewsbury a few times when I lived in SDL. I know of that con, but I have not gone to it. I probably will at some point just to check it out.
I don't mean to interrupt this, but do you have any reselling or thrifting topics you would like Ray or Macris to talk about?
Macris?
Macris. Sorry, you can just read the Nightbot. Hey, Macris.
Wow, this is...
Come on down, Macris.
How... Guys, I'm blaming you guys. I'm blaming you, the chat.
It's not their fault.
I'm blaming you, chat, for not pointing out
who the heck is
blatant
Macris?
Misspelling of Marcus's name, that Nightbot. You know what? I'm going to blame Nightbot. Let's just blame the robot.
Have we been to the flea market that Lindbergh High School does twice a year?
Yes.
I haven't. Have we?
I stopped by this past year.
Wait.
And I don't remember it being memorable.
That's not the one that's like a... No, I was thinking about the one that's got like it's in a basement that's across the street.
I have no idea.
That sounds very vague. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That basement across the street.
But yeah, I have been to that one, JR, and I remember if there was like... I think there was somebody that was selling an NES for like over retail, and I was just like, all right, that says everything. So like it was very, I don't know, it felt very not flea market. It just felt more like market, if that makes sense. Hillary says, of course, it's Olivia being dramatic. Super. I mean, like, I want to show you guys this picture right now. Like, she is. I mean, I guess we could just tilt the camera. Yeah, we're gonna tilt the camera and show you guys Liv right now.
She looks like very sleepy, Anky. You can't even see her. you see me fine. I'd pick her up, but she'd sound like a squeak toy.
I'm sorry, I'm taking you on a ride here, guys.
Hello. Welcome back.
Anyway. Yeah. Liv is being a little poop head.
King of the castle, king of the castle.
She's being a poop head. Oh, man. Listen. Hillary, I would like that emoji just reminds me like there are plenty of boxes in this household that she could be jumping in and she's not.
It's because it's warm.
Yeah, that is precisely why she's up there.
She'll lay on my PlayStation 4 and turn it off with her little paw pad beans because it's nice and toasty, and I get real angry sometimes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That'd make anyone angry.
Don't look at me like that. But I have a question for y'all. So I have an opportunity for this booth thing. We just got for when it comes to flea market booths, I say flea market booth because antique does not sound right for me. So I need to find another name because my brain doesn't like either of those. But either way,
booth.
We got the go ahead to have some extra time outside of operating hours to fluff and restock, which is great. However, the person who is doing this is actually getting 8 hours of volunteer time to just be there to open the store, which is cool and all, but that actually is a discount to them for their booth rental. If we volunteer our hours to like basically work the place and be security, I guess, without, tasers or anything, just eyeballs, you can get a discount. Is it worth it in the long run to offer to do like host those hours for this guy, let him live his fantasy? I personally don't have the time right now, but like if I do quit my job soon, like that is something, it would be worth it for the discount. What is that discount? I don't know exactly, but I'm curious if
I think
is the nitty gritty worth it, I guess is my ultimate question.
So basically, let me rewind really quick here. So at our booth, there is basically volunteer hours to get X amount off of your your booth rental a month. What is it? $20?
I don't even know. I think it's not. I was explained it to. You can also earn volunteer hours by Facebook Marketplace posts, like as an advertisements to bring people to the store, which I think if I heard the number, I could tell you, oh, that's not, my time is not worth that. Like my time is like, I'll make a Facebook post over spending an hour there any day. So,
well, right. So basically the booth is offering these volunteer hours for like $30 off a month, which if you break it down, it's, you can get like, I think 2 hours if you do a Facebook for sale ad.
Right.
And then you still have 6 hours that would only be worth $30.
See, that's what. Okay, so there's a couple of comments that make good points. If I'm able to work on my booth, sure. I actually claimed like.
Well, you are.
I claimed 30 minutes.
You are able to do that.
Putting stuff back that was in my booth that didn't belong to us. So I claim that as like, hey, I'm helping. I didn't just put it. I just didn't put it at the front. I put it away. Right. Or like tidied up if I saw something was on the ground. That being said, about like being liable, like no way, dog. I'm a volunteer. Like the only thing that I'm liable for, I think, like contract wise, is just the stuff and then paying rent if we don't make rent. But other than that, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Hillary brings up a good point, though. Like, I think that the way that they circumvent that basically is your only job in these volunteer hours really is to just occasionally walk around and just check out booths. Like you're basically just being
physical presence.
Yeah, you're just being a presence. It's like a cop being on the side of a street but not shooting radar. Like the cops are saying, "Hey, we're here, but we're not shooting radar. We just want you to be aware of our presence so you don't mess up."
Or, "Hey, can you get up on a ladder real quick?" Maybe because this other lady's got a bad back or something.
Yeah, but even in that scenario, what if you did hurt yourself? Are you going to get workers' comp from them? Because I don't think you are.
No. So I think the bigger question that I think I didn't realize I was asking was like, is having a booth and trying to make it as profitable for you as possible worth it? Or is the energy better spent somewhere else? Or
that's a really good question.
Your own like your own retail space that you own, and you don't have to have a third party, because it's not just rent that we're paying per item, per sale, like a 10% on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I look at it is we're paying $200 we would otherwise be spending on a mortgage, or not a mortgage, but a lease, rather. More than likely a lease, because we'd be leasing the storefront. But yeah, I mean, it does beg to say, like, I would wonder if we were to put everything in our booth on eBay Poshmark Mercari right now, how it would fare versus having I personally love the booth for the lack of maintenance that we have to do.
Set it and forget it.
I mean, if we go there twice a month and we do like significant restocks, it's usually worth the time.
And by time, I mean it's worth it, possibly with no restock for the next month or so, if we don't make it there. I'm not saying that's a good idea, but like, it's very much like we have it set up that it looks curated and maybe could just do a dusting and still be fine. Right. That's not our goal. My goal right now is to like see as far as I can take it with what we have, and then finally make the decision, is it worth it to pull the trigger somewhere else, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, use your time to make your profit. And I think some of that profit is going to be that, like, do it and now it's there forever. Whether that's like merch, or whether that's, I don't know, just being on YouTube.
Being on YouTube.
But that actually brings me to another point, is that you're amazing keeping our podcasts on. I feel like I'm still trying to get a little bit more back into the videos, because my job is sucking the soul and life out of my body to the point where I have no energy. That being said, do what you can with what you have. And so I'm going to keep just doing booth stuff because it brings me joy. But I can start dabbling in YouTube shorts. I've seen enough in my 33 years of social media that I know how to make a 6 to 7 second video that's entertaining, that might get left on live for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times while you're pooping. Who hasn't done that? Come on, like, especially if you got a catchy little music tone going in. But like, here are my 5 top things at the booth I'm selling right now.
Yeah,
you know,
I really want Zesty to be like the shorts portion of the content, because I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I tend to overthink shorts. I think they need to be super edited and like really set up well and all this, but they don't. They just need to be literally just shorts.
Right. I think the time me spending recording stuff in our booth or in our basement is probably going to be much more valuable in the long run than spending 60 minutes to get like $15 off my monthly booth rent.
Well, that not only that too, but yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I also think that Jeff and Tara make a good point as well. Like, that time could be used to go to the bins. Like, I'd rather spend 6 to 8 hours at the bins, versus $30 off at the booth. So
especially since there's a lot of learning, like I gotta learn how to find, like, not only like do something that doesn't make me feel like old. I mean, if I'm really old, it's funny and yet the young people like it, but I can't be like average boomer old. That's not funny. So like, I gotta find my way, and I'm already feeling it. Like, I already have a Zesty name, but like, it kind of goes hand in hand with like the branding stuff that I'm trying to do. It's just like, once I feel it, and then I can commit myself to giving the time to it, because here it is. I finally have it. It's rolling. And instead of just being in small baby phases, there's something I was gonna mention about the shorts and stuff, but I can't put my finger. Oh, booth. Last thing that kind of makes me want to like really consider like actual, like, we own the space or we rent the space itself so we can do anything and sell anything we want right there, is being able to actually list it online while having it in my store, and literally while I get the alert, I'm working the store and I pull it off the shelf. Like, that I think that's the main goal in my brain, whatever that storefront is. But there's beautiful baby steps to get there.
No, I think that was a really great point of like, you know, we saw a lot of other people cross-listing from their booths onto their eBay or whatever online platform. And then like they would have to rush to their booth, wherever that was, and grab the item before it's sold. And some people would sell stuff that like would also be sold the same day at their booth. And that's always been a nightmare for us, especially because we're on the south side of town and our booth is literally on the north side of town. So it's like St. Louis is not a small city.
It's not feasible for us to do it that way like others do, nor can I, because I have a full-time job. That is, unfortunately, right now, a lot of meetings. We just got a rule that we have to be on camera now.
Oof.
I'm
That's
33
gross.
Years old.
Corporate America.
Let me not be on camera for a meeting.
Yeah, no kidding.
But that's where I'm at in my life. If that's where you're not at, don't take this as a please get out. Do you, boo?
I don't think anybody here is in corporate America.
Maybe they used to be.
If you're in corporate America right now, please type 1 in the chat.
Let me hear you say, hell yeah. I'm sad.
Thank you so much, Matthew. That is Marcus's twin brother. Thank you for reminding the people to hit the thumbs up.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate it. Hillary said, if I can't jump a person for trying to steal a Nintendo Wii, I'm not interested. Listen, Sherry is paid. Sherry is paid a salary, I'm sure, to do the things that she does.
Her bills are paid. She's paid her bills. Exactly. Her bills are paid.
Yeah. So I think that, you know.
Speaking of Sherry, not only will she take down marauders in the parking lot, she gave us the go-ahead. I asked personally, I said, hey, I'm going to make some biz cards that just say, hey, we're on YouTube and stuff, like before I really got into the graphics idea. And before I even said it, she goes, you can absolutely put some at the front desk. And which is dope. So I'm actually going to like make a point to share with y'all, like when I do it, just to have like a visual, like see if it makes a difference, because the people that come to the booth aren't necessarily YouTubers or people who follow
not at
channels
all.
Like ours or everybody's like stuff. Like I see them as a different generation, and I mean that in a with love. Like, and so I'd be interested to see how that carries over. Especially when I make a point to say we are on YouTube bigger than just putting a Good Game Grab sticker by our number.
Well, I feel like what's so cool about our booth is the range of items. I've always said this since the beginning. Like they are the owners of the booth are pretty much just like, if it's collectible, we want it in our store. And I really admire that, because you really do see, like on a busy Saturday, you'll see every age, like from 16 to
There's
65.
A comic book little area in the back that brings in all ages as well. And like, of course, like there's baked goods. So like we have people that return there's like a sign up for that. So I wish it was closer. Can you put that over there, sir? I'm just kidding.
You use the S word.
I use the S word. But no, I only see how much it can grow, and I think that there is a market, like you said, Tornado Alley. Like there's a market for booth videos. That's not everything, just some updates, more so than we have in the past or currently. And I think shorts might be the way to do it. That's my current time ability to commit to it. And I think that in the long run, like we wanted to join the shorts world anyway, so why not try it out?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously not having a day job would allow you to create a lot more content on the booth. But yeah,
I'll make all the tiki-takis.
I'm excited to see, like, you know, where the booth game can go. You know, it's actually, they just opened another antique mall in South County just a couple days ago. So like, yeah, so they're adding more and more antique malls to our cities, which is a good sign.
Right.
Like that means that they're in demand. So,
but that's also telling me that, more booths, more people doing it. So if we want our own place,
well, precisely.
Like Nana said, shit or get off the pot.
I mean, it can go both ways. Like, you know, I mean, what's up, Steve, by the way? Sorry, I kept meaning to say hi to you. Welcome, Steve. He's another local St. Louis
howdy
person. But But no, I think that there is something to say about like being in an antique mall booth is good because it brings people in that are already looking for similar collectible things instead of being at a brick and mortar. But I don't know, like, do you ever see us like completely cutting ties with having a booth, like, period?
Not until we had something. So a company that's local that I kind of look to say, hey, they did it, like, as just like validation, is Assassin Vintage. I'm probably butchering their name right now because I'm just a little sleepy, but they actually have a brick and mortar now over on Cherokee Street, and they started out over in a flea market booth, the Green Shag, which is very popular. Probably one of my favorite antique malls. Very curated.
I wouldn't even call it an antique mall. It's a consignment shop.
No, because it's booth. I talked to the owner, actually. She's really nice.
But I mean, the way that
they have a wait list and they curate the people that rent from them. Like, they're in demand.
The space as a whole is curated, right? So like, it's not just like these walls, like these little cubicles,
right?
Like the Green Shag is like a nice curated setup, but it's all different. It's different. It's multiple sellers in one space. It's still the same base,
but you're seeing a lot of companies that have actually branded. Like it worked for me. I can remember some of the branding. The Brass Bamboo Vintage. There's a Wandsworth Furnishing. Those are two that actually have booths that are just on social or just do booths because of that. But they're doing mid-century modern furniture. They're doing bigger pieces that, like, one piece is their booth rental. You know what I'm saying? I love the store as a customer. I don't necessarily know if I'd want to sell and be a seller there because it's so curated. There are people there that have some of the stuff that we sell. And I actually prefer being a little bit more reasonable. And I say that with kindness to our booth because I think that there's a range there, not only of stuff, but of prices. Like, we had a garage sale day of stuff that was $5 and under. I wouldn't know if there was anything under $5 like there that was super tangible unless it was like collectible. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it was just higher value or behind lock and key for collectors, right? And I feel like the stuff that is here, like, I want things that people can reach out and touch and be like, oh, look at this, I want this, and then they take it with them. I don't know what that word is, but if somebody knows what that word is. But and I think to get back to kind of the comments here, what was it? I saw something about like the antique mall on Big Bend in Maplewood. I've been to one, Treasure Island. We had considered that one.
Yeah, but they had a waiting list.
I liked the vibe, but it was a little like...
Was it a little cramped?
Yeah.
I thought it was a little cramped.
Sometimes it was like opening up your grandma's basement, and it was just a lot. Like, where you felt like someone just kept putting stuff in, and never taking it out. Which, again, you do you, boo. But I wonder how lucrative that is. Where when you see a mall change their stuff so often, not like completely rebrand, but you just see new stuff pop in and out that's noticeable, which is what ours is. Currently, which is great. And I think that does a lot. That's a lot to say with marketing. Marketing does a lot for you. Yeah,
I will say that, like, the new ownership that took over last year at our antique mall booth was like, wow. I mean, I've never seen such like active advertising for an antique mall booth in our area. So
well,
I mean,
it was so smart to name it SLAM, like St. Louis Antique Mall.
Well, yeah,
it wasn't coined.
Yeah, from the SEO aspect, like you're gonna always be the number. Like, as long as you have the proper website, you're always gonna be the number one pop up on Google.
Right. That and like that's also the phrase for the art museum. So like it's always just gonna double pop up too.
For sure.
But I remember the first time, JT, I ran into y'all at the booth. I was like, nah, you don't know who I am. Get out of here. It was so fun to actually be able
Tell
to...
them the story. Tell them the story.
It was a beautiful story. I was just there, probably mindless after a day of dying at corporate America. Like, I feel like I'm also like Jay Rudster here, doing the work of 3 different people, but just continuously forever. And I'm just restocking the booth, mind my own business. And, I do my thing where I go, oh, hi, guys. Like, this nice couple was just like standing there looking at the booth. And I go, oh, I can get out of here. Let me know if I need to get out of your way. I'm so sorry. Let me get out of your way. And they're like, well, no, we're here to talk to you. We didn't know we'd run into you. And I was like, what? Yeah. It was great. It was a wonderful.
And then that was JT Nonsense. That was Jeff and Tara.
And welcome JT Nonsense.
Yeah.
But even got me like closer to my complete little McNugget collection. Trying to finish those Halloween nuggets. I'm 3 short for both collections. Total.
So if you got those, holler.
Yeah.
Slide into our DMs.
I'll get into it. Don't ask me what I need. I already know.
Okay.
It's the mummy, and it's the witch. And it's also the monster alien with the 1 eyeball, the pink one. Just in case you wanted to know, for like Christmas or something.
Got it up in the noggin.
Cool.
Jay Rudster said STL Comics started in the same antique mall that you guys started in. They have their own storefront now. Where is their storefront now? Their comic shop was so legit.
Yeah.
And listen, if they can do it, we can do it. Mm-hmm. And also, I just kind of wanted to ask that question previously though about like us ever cutting ties with having it, one booth. I don't think we should ever cut ties with having one booth. Like, I think even if we have a storefront, we should have one booth.
If we have a storefront, I would consider having a small like case.
Maybe a case.
That way,
maybe,
because I have weird feelings about cases that I could probably talk about like 15-20 minutes on. I hate them. Yes, they're important for valuable breakables, but in my opinion, I overlook them. The case aisle, I'm like not interested. I don't want to touch it. I want to make sure it's real. I don't know why, but yeah, that's why I was curious if maybe like, say like the one, I really like the group of like the community of resellers we have at our booth. Like, if for some reason we felt the need to leave, I wouldn't be mad about looking into like one of those smaller little stitches that they have, or like a wall, or maybe we cut it in half for it, so it's like still advertising, because that's why people know us.
That's precisely why I would keep the booth. Like, I would always keep the booth because it not only just advertises us as a brand, but it could also advertise our YouTube, our actual brick and mortar, whatever. As long as it was making money for
to the booth for us.
As long as it was making money for minimal effort, like, I don't think that there would be any reason to get rid of the booth.
Right.
Jay Rudster said it's out by St. Charles. Okay, gotcha. We're not out that way that often, but that's cool that they have a spot now. I mean, we would love to have a spot somewhere in the city.
I want like an old barber
shop.
we
want an old brick building.
I want an old automotive place where we can open up the garage doors and just use the back shop as the eBay YouTube warehouse show, like, stage floor, and then I'm gonna use the auto body like lobby as a tiny little storefront for fun cool stuff we want to flip, or like you said, cross list. Maybe still have a booth for like the stuff that can't fit in that little lobby. Yeah. Like maybe that's where our clothes are or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I love the idea of having an old, oil change sort of, car like repair.
Blueprint Coffee did.
Something like that,
resellers.
And the thing is like they're available too. Mm-hmm. They're available. Let's ask chat. Like, if you guys were to have a brick and mortar right now, what kind of building would you guys want to be in? Like, I just love the idea though of like a nice spring or fall day in St. Louis, and we could just throw open those doors. Right. We can move some racks of clothing out and like
have a sidewalk sale.
Maybe like a big table that has wheels, so we can move it about.
I just imagine myself wheeling out the clearance clothes rack out
front,
to prop the door open, and using like, I don't know, a giant cement statue of Tank to also prop the door open, because it's an old building and the door's going to
What if we just have Tank there?
I don't think he's gonna sit still enough to hold the door open, but we could absolutely have tank there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, a roller skating rink. That would be gnarly.
That would be really cool. Get one that's also got an arcade.
Yeah, if you guys did get an arcade, Hillary, you would have to, or get a roller skating rink, you'd have to make the arcade like true to nature, like get the neon colored floors and everything, and that's the dream. And then
barf dried into it.
Yeah, that's the dream, and then live upstairs above the storefront. Yeah, like we had talked about that. I don't think it would work for us in the long term, but I think it's cool to dream about.
I think for us, the storefront with the rental property on top, that maybe if we did, I mean, right now, if it was just maybe us two, sure, but we have a giant dog and 2 cats.
Yeah.
And definitely have plans on having a little baby, Zesty. Nabyar Jr.
Nabyar Jr.
Nabby J. But just running around going, come on!
Playing Call of Duty and yelling at
really loud. With bright orange hair.
Yeah.
But I think that it wouldn't be a terrible idea to, like, make that a rental property. Like...
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't use the space like above with the storefront, and that's, we're assuming that we're buying a building like that.
Buying it, yeah.
I mean, it would be a tough sell to be like, oh, do we use this as like our eBay area, or do we rent it out to somebody? I mean, both ways work because
Airbnb is also an option too.
Yeah, you could Airbnb it, but either way, you're either spending the money to have a bigger space, somewhere else, or you're just going to utilize the space in the building. So it all works out in the end.
And this is big dreams.
So
we don't got the liquid.
I don't think it's that big. I think it's fully obtainable.
I just tried to say liquidity.
It's fully obtainable.
It's obtainable. But I think that there are moves that we can make now that don't require a storefront. But we can keep looking, because that's my thing is now I want to just like drive through the city and be like, what's that?
Oh yeah,
what is that?
I seriously would love to just like drive around South City with you and just dream. We could make it a stream. We could make it a live stream.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
We'll include it when we have our next like citywide garage sale day, because I'm sure we'll be.
Tank is snoring so loud.
It scared me. It
was kind of disturbing. I wish you guys could have heard that.
Snores like an old man.
Like an old man who's been smoking for 60 years.
Yeah, like
I can't even do it.
Cronkite would snore, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure. Arcade is a necessity in a roller skating rink straight out of 1989. Yeah, absolutely. You got to do it. Just
like the one in Last of Us.
Yeah. I think they did that so well.
That's so
in the show.
Beautiful.
No, I think for me one of my most like nostalgic memories is the bowling alley arcade. The smoky, darkly lit bowling alley arcade. And then they had to make it bright. Because I remember, like, when I was, like, 9 or 10 years old, they remodeled the arcade at my favorite bowling alley, and they made it bright. And I went, what is this?
You saw how disgusting it really was.
No. They remodeled the entire thing.
Oh, I thought you meant they just...
No, that would be... That'd be hilarious if they did just throw some new, like, bright lights, and they're like, yep, it's good to go. Like, see you later. No.
Your ring light gets hot.
Yeah.
I just realized, like, I'm on fire.
It gets the people going.
It's the ring light.
It gets the people going.
Point it at my eyeballs. No paparazzi. Hillary, work where you live is, especially when it came to the point of like, if we ever got to needing employees, I could easily see myself like dying inside because I would just end up covering for everybody because I live there.
Right.
So not doing that. I'm already doing that with the full-time job I do upstairs.
Right.
Like I'm doing tomorrow. I'm actually doing that tomorrow. So that being said, I think it's great not to live there. It needs to be separate. That being said, I can't wait to quit my job so I can do my job here at home. I mean,
that sounded bad.
Kind of.
That sounded bad. Like, oh, Zesty, you got to quit your job so you can get in the kitchen and, you know.
But no, what I meant by that is like actually like do what I see Ray do every day. Like work, like be able to
scratch my belly and walk down the stairs into the.
When you wake up at 4 in the afternoon. I'm just kidding. No, he doesn't. But like. You know what needs to be done. You can make your schedule accordingly like a human being. Like my brain wants to work. My brain does not want to be on back-to-back meetings explaining for the 5th year in a row why this is not working. So yeah. That's
indeed. Yeah. I think we're going to make a plan of action for Zesty this year. At some point this year, Zesty will transition into
not only into Amaro, but
you're already Amaro.
My last name's not changed yet. But
yeah,
that was a pun on me getting my last name changed.
Yeah, it's a whole process. It's a whole process. We have our marriage certificate, and that's what matters.
Yes, and love.
And lub.
Lub.
We have lub.
Meetings. Only the
no, but
I want to be.
I for certain am like super excited to just have the freedom to, like, you know, if we wanted to make a short about something, her and I could collab on it on the spot, no matter what time of day it is.
Right.
Like if we're both doing our thing in the thrift dungeon or in a storefront or wherever it may be, I think it's just going to be really neat to like just create with you. Because we don't get to do that too often.
Right. I took a day after we came back from Vegas to just like make myself pretend that this is just what I do. Like, all right, I'm back at the office. And what I needed to do was price stuff for the booth and work on some graphics and some stuff and like learn. And it was like I was at the booth. They were trying to close up at like almost 7. And I realized that I actually spent like almost 6 to 7 hours doing that stuff. And it didn't feel like work. I enjoyed every single minute of it.
It's a nice feeling.
And it just validated everything that I felt like before going on vacation.
Yeah.
So I think that like with us together, like if I was just by myself, maybe I wouldn't feel so confident. I know I can do it regardless, but having you and where we are now, I think it just feels good.
Does.
Feels real good.
I've always said that I wanted to like create a foundation for her to quit her job, and I think every day going forward, you know, especially because like we're trying to hit 1,000 listings now, and with our average sale price being where it is, 1,000 item store will be really good to kind of lean back on, and so
there's also something in my brain that I'm trying to start with my family. That is you've met Mom and Papa Zesty, you know who I'm talking about, but they are a beautiful retired married couple that are very talented, who spent their working years for the government.
The government of Illinois.
Yeah, and so we've really been spearheading some ideas on how, because they just love being involved with what we do, regardless if it was for a business or not. And we have some ideas of my dad's really good in woodworking, and my mom's very creative, and where I don't want to give it away because I want to like make it a kind of like a look at this. But there's more than just like reselling on my mind when it comes to a business. That could also be something that we can count on.
Well, it ties into reselling.
It ties in really well.
Well, it ties into thrifting more so than reselling, but yeah.
Right, but it's all kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same
umbrella
gig, right? That and all the meetings I want to have, which will be 0.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Tornado Alley, I recently quit. It works well with my wife and I working reselling together. I source and she lists. My wife is not a bins person. I will fight you. I don't think I'll fight you. I think what I really enjoy when we go together is that, well, one, if I do want to go by myself, I can go on my own schedule and make my thing, because there might be some things that I don't want to do all of it, because when we go, I try to hit everything because I don't go as often. But when we go together, it'll become more of a divide and conquer. I can see you going for the media always first, and I'm gonna try and like, I don't know if I'd ever really hit close first for me, at least not at this moment. I think that if I had the time, I would make maybe close days versus GM days.
Yeah.
But again, you change that as you feel the vibe of the store.
Or what you need.
Right? Like, I'm actually trying to do myself a favor, and I just printed out a huge list of what sold all last year so I could start tracking trends, not only in just like how much we made, but to actually start thinking about the cost of goods. If we're making tons of money on VHS, that's great because they're like a quarter,
They're 5 cents now.
Now they're 5 cents. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and they've changed, but like, I can genuinely get an idea of generally get an idea of what is selling currently, trends within the year. That's part of what I do now. So I'll take that little piece of workforce with me. But yeah, I think that won't keep me from sourcing on my own because there's just such a weird on the hunt feeling for me when I go thrifting.
I could never not source.
Right.
Like,
it's too much joy for me.
Well, but to go back to what Jeff was saying though, like I do love that you guys understand each other's strengths
and play to them.
And play to them. I mean, I like kind of what Zesty was saying though is that like her brain is not in business mode like my brain is when we go to the bins. So Zesty's just like, oh, all this cool stuff, and like,
okay, I'm not that way all the time.
No, sometimes I know. That is
yes, I got it.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm like, my work life sucks. I'm gonna thrift what I want. Time.
Yeah, I'm gonna thrift for my mental health.
Yep, I'm thrifting my mental health.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Versus like being in a business sort of
garage
mindset.
Sales are the worst because I'm dealing with people, and I don't like Goodwill. I can say yes or no unless I'm like, hey, Bubs, what do you think about this? And you're like, no. And I'm like, okay.
But either way, I'm like excited to see her like fully blossom as
Evolve.
a reseller. Yeah, because I mean, I've always said this, like her eye for especially like clothing is so good. And I'm just like excited to see. I'm excited to see what transpires from you going like full throttle instead of like 50% throttle.
I won't even say I'm at 50%.
Not even.
I was when we started, but I think that with the wedding and everything, I think I had to kind of divide my energy just because of life. But that's where I'm ready to get my Kickstarter and purposely reshuffle my energy to this because. My work ethic is I value what I do, and if I'm doing well, I'm doing well, whether like in my job or something, and I give a lot to what I
think that's anybody.
Right. And because I've been giving so much to Daddy Dorsey, I just have to take a step back and be like, what do I really want? And I know what it is. I've been knowing it.
You've done been knowing it.
She done already had hers and she ready.
Yeah.
So not only is this not like I like doing it, so it makes sense, and I don't want to work what I do now. This is also for my mental health, and I enjoy it. Like I'm becoming a hunchback as I sit because of how like what I do, and I'm just like I'm ready. These are all I hear are positives, except the money thing. But money's money. Who cares?
I mean, I think she's saying that because.
And with love.
Corporate America is, it's a lot of people in corporate America are overpaid for the amount of work that they actually do.
Let me back up. I love my company. I love the people I work with. My ADHD brain needs something different, something that I can help control the time and the effort that I give. I can't be on 40 hours a week consecutively, like 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I've learned that now, and I'm ready. I think I'm comfortable with something I enjoy that's lucrative as well as enjoyable.
I mean, I think it's important to note that like you are going to take a pay cut. I mean, I even took a pay cut from my food service job, which wasn't making me millions, but I mean, I'm
not a rich Zesty.
It was a pay cut.
Be noticeable.
But I mean, you have to think about your mental health versus what money you're bringing in too. So I mean. You guys know as resellers, like we're all in that same sort of mindset. Yeah. Jeff also said, also cool to simply enjoy grabbing lunch together or visiting a new thrift together. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something I look forward to. John says, about to go hard on the eBay listings. The missus is really supporting me now with this venture. I just need to find my rhythm. Yo, that is
the
like, if your partner is supporting you in that, like, I had so much support from Zesty when I took the leap to do it myself. And like, I don't know if I could have done it without her. Like, seriously, like that's real talk. So I'm really glad that you're getting that support, man, and rock it out, you know. I think I thrift for my mental health and business at the same time, 100%. I think that's why I will probably never not thrift everything or resell everything. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people do like recommend like you niche down and like just very much focus on one.
You can be selective.
Avenue. But I think for me, if I were to only do clothes, like obviously clothing is a very proven reselling method. Like, there are people that make a ton of clothing or money on clothing every year. It's no, you know, it's no hidden secret. Mm-hmm. If I had to do that, my soul would be sucked out of me, even though I was still a reseller and made my own hours.
To pigeonhole yourself, in my opinion.
Yeah, it would be.
I think we like learning and we like becoming knowledgeable about things. That's part of the reselling thing.
Sure.
Is like the educational piece.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think that's why we become we just like, oh, look at that. I would have not known that. I kind of remember that, and now I know why it exists, or now I know more about it. Or not just I wanted this as a kid and now I have it. Well, there's multiple things. Yeah, for sure. I think the knowledge aspect of just learning about a ton of different stuff. I also am like, I'm super big on efficiency. Like, that's kind of my thing. And I think it's really important to be efficient wherever you go to source. So like, if you're going to a garage sale, like, I would never look at the clothing before. I'd only be like, all right, electronics, media, maybe some other hard goods, and that's it. The clothing.
Maybe I just was inspired.
But the thing is, I usually wouldn't look at them. Like, I would now. I'm not going to overlook the CDs and DVDs like I have been, because that's the deal. Because you can trade those things in for way less than you're getting them, even at the bin sometimes, because people want you to take all the VHS for like $5 or like $1 a Blu-ray or whatever, and you're gonna get that return back. So the only thing that's it's interesting to learn what to look for as you gain your experience, and you won't know until you learn to look for that stuff up. Like, look that stuff up. So yeah. I think that now that I am open to reselling quite literally everything, and like also knowing now like what clothing brands to look for, I feel so much more confident that I can be efficient with my time when I go to a garage sale, when I go to the bins, that if I'm hurting for money, well, okay, let me rephrase that. If I feel like I'm not making enough profit for the time that I'm spending, then I know I can go into another avenue. I can go look for clothing that you can be selective based off of your return when you have to be.
Right. If I go to the bins and I'm in the media and I'm like getting banger after banger, I'm not going to the clothing or the GM. I'm just gonna leave because like I'm happy with what I found. You know, I mean,
and the storage thing that is something to mention too, like being able to store clothes versus the smalls. That's actually something I struggle with. Like, the stuff that you pick is actually very storable.
Well, you're also not.
Clothes.
You haven't done the actual like clothing setup. You haven't done the.
Well, I'm talking about like even just let's look about like my Tupperware. Like some of that stuff, light as heck, it is visibly taking up lots of space.
But your clothing could be bagged.
The clothing could be bagged. It could be better like put away.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, sometimes I just be like, oh, this is a sweater. I'm not selling this right now, and I'll just throw it in another pile. Like, that's not the way.
You guys have seen it on videos, probably, but it's literally just a giant cardboard box that keeps stacking up with clothing, and that's Zesty's
my death pile.
Your death, it's literally a pile.
It's my death.
It's a literal death pile.
My little coven.
But you know what? We're gonna get rid of some of that in hopefully a whatnot We're gonna get hopefully maybe some Depop action going at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I have to learn how to just do the tiniest bit of fixes.
Yeah, list one item a day.
Well, I was talking about like I need to be able to fix a button.
Well, that too.
And I need to be able to fix a hook, which I know I can do it. I just want to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then I will probably do that. But again, that's something that's like once I have the time, I will do that. Not having the setup again prevents that, but again, that's just time, and I know we'll get there.
We'll get there.
I do want to read this post that Hillary said because I this is where I want to be. Being able to see the fruits of my labor with reselling has been so rewarding. I worked my arse off for companies and got the same wage, but if I put that effort into eBay, I get to reap the rewards.
100%.
How many? Like I'm tired of. This is the phrase that my team has been using, and God bless these beautiful people, but we've been kingdom building for quite some time, and I've been kingdom building for 5 years, and I'm tired of building this kingdom that I will never rule. I would like to build my tiny little swamp with my swamp husband and live there reselling our swamp goodies.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's like, yes, it does suck when you want to like go on vacation as a reseller because like, yeah, you could build up a draft bank and release some of that, but like without getting too technical, you are right though. Like whenever you're on and whenever you need to like ramp up the amount of money that you need for whatever situation, if you feed the robot, the items,
you have a little bit more control of your output.
Yes.
Depending on how much you input, whereas at a 48-hour job, you put in, you get out what you, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like,
especially if you're salaried.
Out for a promotion, and I'm salary, and so it's like, burp,
yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be a beautiful Tupperware built kingdom.
Yes.
But just to catch up on this, because I think we're actually over, because
we're
just talking about our Tupperware kingdom.
We're vibing
so great. Let's see here. Where did we leave off?
Well, Jeff said I can store 5 times as much media as I can of clothing in the same place. Yeah, for sure. I mean, or the same space. Yeah, for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong though. If you do the method right, like storing clothing can still be easier, But yeah, no, for sure. If I could just sell only media all day, every day, I would do it. But the fact of the matter is, like, the media, especially like at our bins and at our local thrift stores, like it's brutal out there as far as competition. And that's another thing, like being able to source everything allows you to outplay your competition, like straight up. So Nana's Treasure said, we sell a little bit of everything. Sometimes it's nice to switch things up. Clothes are the easiest to pack up and get out. 100%. Like I love selling clothing on eBay because it's literally like, here's the box that it's in, boom, here it goes in a poly mailer or a flat rate legal envelope, and I slap a thing on it and it's out the door. Like it's so easy. Right.
It's not so easy when it comes to like the old kitchen stuff or records.
Yeah.
Well,
now that's why we have record boxes now. Right. Like I paid for record boxes, even though they're expensive, but they're worth.
Learn by the burn.
They're worth it. They're worth it.
But I feel like the storage could be fine up to a point. Obviously, like if I were to focus my time with you sourcing, it could fill up very fast, very quickly. You saw how it got, and that was when we were both working.
Well, but we'd also to battle against that though, we'd be selling a lot more too.
We'd be selling a lot more because we'd be frequently restocking and selling in multiple avenues.
There was a point where like Zesty was sourcing as much as I was, but only selling about 25% of what I was sourcing. You know what I'm saying? So it's now Zesty will be able to source the same amount and sell
the stuff that I sourced. Like, or I'm actually selling now the stuff I sourced before.
Yeah.
Which is helpful because I haven't been able to source, but it's going to catch up.
Right.
If I don't.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not afraid, but like Hillary says, I am ready to build my own kingdom and fill it with all the Tupperware my heart desires.
Yeah.
And all the bullshit that I
Yep. That is right. All right. Well, on that note, guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. It was a pleasure having Zesty here.
Thanks for having me.
As the Marcus replacement.
Macris. My name is Macris now.
Macris. anything you want to add before we depart?
Be kind to yourself and do what you can with what you have. And that's enough.
There you go. Sorry about there not being a video today. Again, like, we are trying to get our death piles to be 0 before we go sourcing again, because I really do want to see how much we actually have. And from there, we can make a plan of attack to hit 1,000 items in the store. And speaking of clothing, I feel like getting to 1,000 items is going to be a lot of clothing, but
also,
I'm ready.
Last thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil the fun surprise.
Oh.
But there might be a fun American picker-like experience. We might like to share some information like with you, but we don't have more than that to share with you at this time. So stay tuned.
I'm just going to say hoarder house.
Hoarder house.
Literal hoarder house.
Opportunities.
So
I'm excited.
That's going to be...
I'm wearing gloves.
It's going to be quite the episode. Masks and gloves required.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Don't forget that we do this every Thursday night on... every Thursday night at 7 p.m. CST. Next week, it'll be over on Marcus's channel. Nightbot was so kind to drop his link in the chat. If you guys aren't subbed to Marcus, go over there, hit that sub button. Check out his channel, especially if you like reselling clothing. He's got all the goods on that. And yeah, be sure to stay tuned for the Las Vegas stuff, Hoarder House stuff, and all that good stuff that will be coming here hopefully with the next... Oh, also, not tomorrow Friday, but I think next Friday, I think we should be good to go for our first Whatnot auction.
Oh, wowie. Okay, I better get prepared.
I think we're going to aim for next Friday. We're not 100% sure on that, but just be on the lookout. What's up, Slater Knight? Thanks for sliding in here right at the end. We're actually getting ready to get out of here, but yeah, so be like, a ton of stuff is coming up and I'm really excited. So Whatnot auction time, it's going to be great. But hit up that Discord link if you guys haven't. Come check us out in there. It's absolutely free, all that good stuff.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I'll be back, I guess, since I live here.
Yeah, since you're in this stuff. But anyway,
I live here.
All right, guys, we love y'all. Peace out. Have fun.
Bye.
Good thrifts, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next